All right, I'm Colin Shrewy, and this is my grassroots action speech. We got Santa, and then we got 5 real people. But Santa's real, I guess, if you believe in it. And then pull it sideways, if you would. I think that's how it works. Some people still believe in Santa. All right. So many people start off their day with the same routine, and it starts with a staple, a cup of coffee. And one of the most convenient ways to have this cup of coffee is through a K-cup. All you gotta do is put it in, close the lid, and out comes your coffee in seconds. So I want you guys to envision with me for a second a line. And this line is made up of K-cups. You know, the small little cups. But this isn't a small line. This line will actually stretch around the world 11 times. According to Richmond in 2014, this is the number of K-cups that were sold and used in the United States in 2014. And this just kind of highlights an issue that we have. It's a pollution issue, a packaging issue. Because that's just the small K-cups. Imagine if we'd used plastic bottles or paper plates or any other items that people use regularly in this. Imagine how many more times it would wrap around the world. But it's all just trash. And pollution is a major issue in the United States. And it's an issue that can be fixed by recycling. And by fixing this problem, we will have a better and cleaner future. K-cups aside, there's still a pollution issue in the United States. We as Americans are destroying the planet. CBS reporter Sean Thomas presented these figures in a 2015 article. He said that 900 million trees are cut down every year for paper-making purposes. For posters, for books, for handouts in class, for billboards. All of those are examples of paper that were trees once and were cut down. But this isn't the only reason that trees are being destroyed. He says it takes one 15-year-old tree to make 700 grocery bags. In the article, he says that if you're carrying home your meats and your cheeses and your granola bars and your cereal in a plastic bag, you're essentially saying that carrying your food home is more important to you than clean air. Trees are meant to help facilitate clean air and breathable air for humans, not to be paper or plastic. The article also states that the average child here in the United States will have 8,000 dirty diapers in their lifetime. But most of these diapers are not biodegradable, so they sit in landfills for centuries. That means that people right here in my audience still have dirty diapers in a landfill somewhere. He also says that 128 million people commute to work every day. And during this commute, 768 million pounds of CO2 is sent into the atmosphere. That's almost 1 billion pounds every day. So if we all stayed home for just one day from work, that means that there would be almost a billion less pounds of CO2 in the atmosphere, which would drastically change global warming. But one of the scariest figures of all is that the United States produces 200 million tons of trash on average per year. And what's so scary about this figure is that it's not all trash. NBC San Diego's Bob Hansen in 2015 reports that 76% of trash in a landfill could have been reused or recycled. They did an audit of the San Diego landfill and found that nearly over 3/4 of the items there could have been recycled or reused, but instead they were sitting in a landfill. If this holds true on the national level, that means that there would be 152 million tons that could be recycled but are currently sitting in a landfill. With numbers like these, it would seem logical that everyone would want to team together and help recycle. But that's not necessarily the case. Sapphires and Nixon reported results from a survey in 2014, and they found that young adults and African Americans are less likely to recycle than other demographics. And this baffled me, because we as young Americans should be the ones leading the way in recycling, not the ones who are struggling or falling behind. We are going to be the ones on this planet for another 60, 70, maybe even 80 years, and we're going to have families or future generations following us. We should try and at least take care of the planet and provide a better future for other people. So now that we can see that pollution is a serious issue in the United States, let's look at a solution. The solution is clear, and that is we should recycle. Al Madeen outlined benefits of recycling in 2012. He points out that recycling saves resources, energy, protects the environment, and reduces incineration and landfill disposal. So instead of making a brand new plastic bottle each and every time, it is more energy efficient to recycle and just use the old plastic. He says it's also better for the environment because we're not sending toxic clouds of incinerated gas into the atmosphere, and there's less trash just sitting in landfills worldwide. Recycling is easier than one may think too. You can do it right here in Shawnee County, relatively effort-free. Shawnee County offers curbside recycling for a small fee, and this fee is simply to make sure that it's not tax-funded. Kind of like the trash system is, that's tax-funded. The recycling system is by a personal basis. According to the waste management website for Shawnee County, in 2017, every other week is when they come by and pick them up. So you just set your curb or your recyclables out by the curb, they come by and pick them up, and it's that simple. And Shawnee County handles 40 tons of recyclable products per day. They also say that recycling creates jobs, conserves natural resources, and extends landfill lives. So it's just doing Shawnee County and the Topeka area better by recycling. Some would say that it's going to be impossible to get everyone to join in and do this together, but if we did, it would make a major impact. But there's one way for sure that we could get everyone on board. Mosier, a reporter from North Carolina, reported that in 2009, by state law, citizens could no longer throw away plastic bottles. And the North Carolina government came out and said they weren't going to go poke through people's trash, and they weren't going to go and be nosy about it, but they wanted to make people more aware of the importance of recycling and how big of an issue that it is, and how they wanted to be more green. They even provided state initiative funding to restaurants and other organizations that would use a lot of plastic so they could crush and have bigger disposal bins so they could throw all of the recyclables in there. So now that I've illustrated a clear solution for the pollution crisis, let's take a moment to reflect. I want you to visualize two different worlds. The first is going to be hot. There's big black clouds in the sky, the air is muggy, and trash line the streets. This is what's going to happen if we stay on our current path and don't recycle on a large-scale basis. The second world I want you to picture has a thriving economy, clean air, green grass, more trees, and less trash floating in the ocean. This is a possible solution, a scenario, if we adopt a solution that means more recycling. It's time that we make a stand. We need to push our lawmakers to adopt a law similar to the North Carolina law right here in Topeka. By signing this petition, you would be agreeing and telling our lawmakers that it's important to you to save the world and to save our planet, starting right here in Shawnee County. If we're able to make a difference right here where the state capital is, we'd be able to influence other towns in Kansas and hopefully other states in the United States. Pollution is a major issue, but it's one that can be fixed by recycling, and recycling will help to create a better and cleaner future. If we succeed here, that's a step in the right direction. So the next time you're studying late night for an exam, or you're just waking up and having a morning cup of coffee, think about where your K-cup is going to end up.